said, we have a great call lined up today. Yes. Well, for those that don't know this young man, he was with us, started off last week. He'll be with us all Thursdays. So I sent the flyer out last week, every Thursday this month. Last time I saw him physically in person was 3 years ago in the Bahamas. And he's a great family man, wonderful family man, daughter. The co-founder's go-to guy. Matter of fact, he did our last virtual training for ACN. They had him trained. That's right. He's a true giver of his time and also of his talents to everybody. And I love how he comes on with journal after journal after journal. And see, that should be a hint right there. If he's journalizing all these years, the reason why he's the regional vice president is because he's journaling things and he's going back and regurgitating what he learned to help him get to where he's got. Does that make sense? There you go. He goes above the call of duty. He's also after start speaker. He shares a lot of wisdom. Him and Mike Pasuti do 2 trainings a year throughout the year up in Lake Tahoe, and I've had people come back and change their life forever. And I mean changed. I mean, I've seen drastic change. So pay very close attention. He's also an actor there in the Southern California Bay area. I mean, really active young man. And like I say, it was an actor. That's right, he's an actor. Without further ado, Regional Vice President Platinum from Southern California, the one, the only, the comparable, Mr. Dean Tarrolly.
Good, man. It is good to be here, you guys. Let me
I got the memo.
I did. Right? Keep it clean. We're gonna keep it simple and clean. Or as one of our business partners says, quick and dirty. Right? Okay. So you guys, let me just start by saying this. Same thing I start with every time we get together, which has been, what did we say it was now, Mr. Thomas? This is like a year and a half of doing these calls every other month. Something like that, right? Is that what we're at now? Okay. So you guys, and I say this to remind those of you that are on consistently, and for those of you who are new, Mr. Thomas, as a senior vice president in our company, does not need to do these calls. Right? Like he does not. Like, he's good. He has helped a lot of people. He's served a lot of people. He's taught and trained and mentored a lot of people. He's been a coach to a ton of people that are not even on his team. I'm one of them, where I have had times in my career where we've had the opportunity to be together, and I would turn to him and I'd say, hey, Mr. Thomas, you've done this. Here's where I am as a regional vice president. Here's where I am. What are your thoughts? What can I do? How do I get to that next level? How do I get to that next breakthrough? How do I get to 1,000 reps a month? Right now, I want you guys to hear this, because this has everything to do. And by the way, for those of you who don't know me, you'll be, well, I don't want to say you're in for a treat. I want to say you're in for, I don't know. I tell you what, how about this? You're in for it. So let's leave it at that. Right. So the reason I bring this up to you guys, I think this is really important. I was thinking about this earlier today, right? Regardless of someone's level of success in whatever their chosen field is, they almost all have a coach and a mentor that they go to. So you could be at the top of your game in whatever your industry is, and they almost always, in fact, I would say they always have a mentor or a coach to go to. You guys know that Warren Buffett has a guy that he runs all of his ideas by? Warren Buffett, his partner, he runs every idea by him. So when you talk about a business like ACN, or you talk about a leader like Mr. Thomas, by the way, I'm not going to have him divulge any of this, but I will answer for him. I can guarantee you that Mr. Thomas has mentors and coaches that he turns to in operating his life, in operating his business. And one of the dangers, so Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you. I appreciate your leadership, your mentorship, what you do for this company, and the friend that you've become to me. So just a class act all the way around. And, it's really humbling, you guys, to be asked to train on this. And it's been a long time. And somehow every other month he keeps asking me to come back, and I finish up a month. I think, well, you know what? He's probably had enough of me. So let me go through some things with you guys. So, I kind of themed all these months that we've been together, especially the last 4 or 5 or 6 months, there's either a word or a phrase to kind of theme what it is I want to talk to you guys about. And with Mr. Thomas being a senior vice president and him having coaches and mentors, and he follows their advice. And for me, having coaches and mentors, I do my very best to follow their advice. You know, whether it's Mike Basutti, who many of you have heard that name, Efren Tejada. These are my mentors. Mike Basutti, Efren Tejada, the co-founders of the company, right? When you're given guidance and instruction and a playbook and a roadmap on how to do this, would you guys agree with me that it's probably a pretty good idea to follow what the leader is telling you to do? What would you say? For any of you who are parents, have you ever had this happen? Your kid wants to go do something and you're like, no, don't go do that. And they go do it anyway. And you as the parent get to go like this. Told you. Why don't you listen to me? How many times you got to burn your hand before you listen to your mom or you listen to your dad? Okay. So I want you to know and by the way, as parents, we love our kids. We don't want them to get hurt. We don't want them to fall down. We don't want them to burn their hand. But a lot of times they got to figure it out on their own and they're going to defy the parent, right? They're going to do it on their own. They're going to do it their own way. And then they come back to what it is that you told them to do. And say, oh, you're right, mom. You're right, dad. I needed to figure it out for myself. And we understand that. So here we go. Check this out. Anybody want to put in the chat what the word for the month of August is? See who is listening. Someone already did it. Somebody knew what I was going to ask. Okay, perfect. There it is. So check the chat. There's the word. Check the chat. Tap on your little green thing or your little chat button. There's the word. The word is accelerate. So let's revisit something really quickly. April was advance your business. So no matter where you were in April, the goal for the month of April with me, I can't speak for the other 5 days a week that Mr. Thomas hosts this call. For me, what I wanted to try to do in April was find a way to help advance your business. Well, in June, June, the idea here was to call your shot. See, when you call your shot, here's what that means. Here's what I'm doing regardless of my circumstances. Here's what I'm doing regardless of the people around me. Here's what I am calling my shot. I will be at 40 points by the end of this month. I will be an executive team leader with 3 teams by the end of this month. I will have promoted 3 executive team leaders. Have you done it yet? No, I'm calling my shot. You guys all know that famous quote, and I don't know it by heart, where, people post it, where it's a picture of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan said, I missed 7,000 shots in my career. I've been entrusted with the last second shot 192 times and missed. Did you catch that part? And missed. That's why I'm a champion. So you call your shot, right? I listen, man. I would rather look at. Mr. Thomas, these calls always get me fired up, and I didn't think I was going to fire up this morning. I would rather, and I know Mr. Thomas would rather you strike out swinging. Swing the bat. Strike out swinging. What does that mean in ACN? Look, take that shot at talking to the person. Take that shot at making that extra stop on the way home. Like, don't strike out looking. You didn't take a shot at it. What does that mean in baseball, you guys? If that pitch is anywhere close to the plate and you have 2 strikes, you guard the plate, you swing. You cannot take a chance at the umpire going, dude, you're going to look at this pitch, out. Might have even been a little outside, out. Swing the bat. So April was advance your business. June was call your shot. Here's what I'm doing. Okay, but now call your shot is over. That's June. August is accelerate. So here's what we said last week. Okay. Last week, I gave you guys the definition, the actual Webster's dictionary definition of the word accelerate. And the word accelerate means to move faster, to gain speed. But the second version of the definition blew me away. Here's what it says in Webster's dictionary: to progress from grade to grade, to move more rapidly than usual, to follow a speeded up educational program. I hear this all the time. How do I do this better? How do I do this faster? Well, the fact of the matter is this, folks. Success loves speed in our business, but if you don't know what you're doing, that speed will get you in an accident. That speed will get you into trouble. We're signing up customers and don't know how to do it. We're talking to people and we're burning through our lists because we don't really know what we're doing. So that goes back to the importance of the system or the playbook. So let's talk about acceleration. Okay. Let's talk about acceleration. When you guys get, okay, look, I am going to, for those of you who have not heard me talk before, this, you just got to kind of go with me. This whole thing's going to come around full circle. Just kind of like buckle up for a minute. No pun intended. When you get on the freeway, folks, when you get on the freeway, and I'm going to need your focus here for a minute. I'm really going to need people to focus on this for a minute if you're going to get this. Okay, here goes. So any distractions you can put to the side would be great. Okay. When you merge onto a freeway, one of the things that you have to do is check your surroundings, especially when you're merging on the freeway. You're going to check your left-hand side mirror on your car to make sure. You're going to check the rear view mirror and the side view mirror to make sure you have a spot to get into when you're getting on the freeway. Sounds simple, right? Listen to me. Sounds freaking simple. We've all driven for years and years. We can do that holding a cup of coffee, Bluetooth in, changing the music. We get it. But you know what you're checking for? You're checking to make sure that you have a space to come into when you're merging onto a freeway from an on-ramp. Okay? Sounds simple. And you guys are like, oh my God, I tuned into Al Thomas's leadership call and Dean is taking us through driver's ed 101. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. If you guys are going to become leaders and you want to become leaders, you have to be able to speak to people in ways that they understand what your point is. So listen to this. If you check your rear view mirror and your side view mirror as you're merging onto the 101, you're merging onto the 15, you're merging onto a busy freeway, you're merging on and you check the mirrors, but you're going 7 miles an hour, what happens? I'll tell you what happens. You're in an accident and you're going to have an army of people around you giving you a single finger hello. That's what they're going to do. So what do you have to do to get onto the freeway properly and safely? What do you have to do? You have to accelerate. You have to accelerate. You have to hit the gas. You have to merge in there. So understand, folks, here goes. When you accelerate, the engine works harder and it uses more fuel. There's an increased amount of energy that is required to accelerate that vehicle to merge safely into the traffic or onto the freeway. Okay. Sounds simple, right? Acceleration implies that there is already movement that has started. You are accelerating your movement. So as I was making my notes about today, and here they are, Mr. Thomas, by the way, these are live notes. I don't commit anything to memory. Let me tell you guys something, a side note, sidebar, 20-second timeout. Get everybody together for a second. If you guys are committing these Thursday calls or any of Mr. Thomas's calls, but I can only speak for myself. If you guys are committing this to memory, you're doing yourself a disservice. You are viewing, not participating. Because how can I help you guys build your business if you're going to try to commit this business to memory? Right? For some of you, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was months and months and months ago. I had a guy on my team. I told you guys this story. And for those of you who weren't part of the team yet, or you haven't heard it, I think it's really funny. I think it's really funny. Okay. So we're having a national big national training, which I feel so bad for the people that got started during COVID, but I feel excited for you guys because you've never had the opportunity to experience ACN. You haven't had the opportunity to be at an event with 12, 15, 20, 25,000 people in an arena. For those of you who have been there, you can't wait for your new people to experience that. I know it because I feel the same way you do. But now check this out. Here's my little sidebar. So in terms of taking notes and how to build this business properly, how to build a business. Here goes. I'm at a national and one of my reps, I had a team in Milwaukee at the time, and a good group from Milwaukee came to the event. And look, I'm a new team coordinator now called regional director, and I'm fired up, man. And people are excited. And I run into one of my reps, like, I don't know, it was during the lunch break or a bathroom break or whatever. I don't know. I see him in the hallway. Here's what happened. I see him in the hallway, and there was it might've been Mr. Thomas. I mean, it was one of the SVPs that done a training, and we were blown away. And I run into my rep in the corridor, and here's what I said. I go, dude, is this amazing? He goes, this is unbelievable. I'm like, right? I'm like, dude, was that training? Did you get a lot out of that training? Like, I'm freaking out. I hit team coordinator and I'm freaking out over that training. I feel like it's my first day in ACN. And the guy goes, I know, man, this is absolutely awesome. Here goes. Watch this. I go, this is absolutely awesome. I said, dude, did you get good notes? And he looks at me and goes like this. So this is what he did. I said, dude, did you get the notes? Did you get good notes? And he looks at me and goes like this. And I went, what does that mean? And he goes, I got it all up here. I said, you didn't take any notes? And he literally goes like this. Nope. I knew 100% that dude would not last. You want to know why I know that? Because when our wife gives us a grocery list of 7 things, we can't remember that. We can't remember that. And you're going to commit a training to memory on a business that could change the quality of your life forever and pay you a residual income that can get you freedom? Get out of here. I couldn't believe it. I'll never forget this. Anyway. Okay. Acceleration requires increased energy. So here's something that you guys have to really self-evaluate. You have to evaluate whether or not your business is moving forward right now. I cannot accelerate a parked car. I can't. And nor can you. And by the way, with all the talent, skill, and experience that he has, Al Thomas cannot as well. We cannot advance a parked car. It's not possible. We have to turn the car on and we have to get the car what? Moving. So what are some things that can move your business forward? Because we can't get to acceleration until we have movement. Okay. And by the way, if you go from 0 to 60 in 1 second, that's whiplash, and it doesn't work that way. You got to merge on to what it is that you're doing. So here's what it is. Okay. Here are the things. Here's some things, right? Yeah. Sharing, sensational sharing, right? There you go with you and your beautiful glasses. That's one of them, a new business partner. So check this out. Do you have customer appointments set up? Do you have presentations set up? Do you have launching set up? Do you have training set up? See, those are the things. A customer appointment, presenting the business, launching someone properly, and trainings. Now, see, some of you are going to commit those 4 things to memory, and you're going to miss because you don't have it written down in a book. You guys, you want to know what this is? You guys say it's a notebook. I say it's a money. You say it's a notebook, not me. And I have stacks of these. Stacks. So what are the things that can take you from being parked to movement? Customer appointment set up, presentation set up, launches set up, and training set up. Now check this out. You start having those things, guess what happens? Your business starts moving forward. See, I could talk to any of the regional directors, and I don't know all of them on the call. Mr. Thomas, named the regional directors. Jocelyn Driscoll, one of my great friends, she's on this call right now. I know Julian and Natasha, regional directors. Pierre Urban, I know he couldn't jump on. Roxanne Corlejo and Ryan Ruiz, regional directors on my team, doing an awesome job. Roxanne, in fact, was top 15 in the company. Ryan, top 5 in the company and regional director production, doing an awesome job. I want to make sure, let me see what other regional, obviously Brian Baker, my buddy, that's my guy over there. And let me see who else, who am I missing? I know I'm missing some regional directors. Chris and Rose, sorry. Oh yeah. Hey, and by the way, Chris, thank you for making that phone call and that text. You're a class act, man. I appreciate it. Luann, great to see you as well. Thanks, you guys. I'm trying to get everybody. Here's what I can tell you about the regional directors. Ready? Here's what I can tell you about the regional directors. Okay. Any regional director that wants to build this business, you want to know what pains them? I'm going to tell you what pains them. Okay. Don't worry about Mr. Thomas. Don't worry about Jocelyn Driscoll or myself, because this is a no-brainer. But any of the regional directors that I just mentioned, I'm going to tell you guys something that pains them, right? So you guys can stop writing for a second, look at the camera so I can see you, because I want you to see what I'm about to share with you. Speaking for all of the regional directors on this call, here's what pains them. An open day, an empty calendar is painful, right? And you know what they'll do? By the way, for the record, any regional director that wants to go regional vice president, here's what they'll do. If there is nothing on their calendar for their team, they will create something on their calendar for themselves. That is a leader. Because they understand the value of time. They understand the value of time. It's painful. Now, do those days happen sometime? Yeah. This person cancels. This person had to run to the doctor, had to take care of mom. Stuff happens. You know what? You find a way to replace that activity that was scheduled with new activity. That is how you can start to create movement, which leads to acceleration. I said this is all going to come full circle. So you got to figure out those windows of time in your day. And I want you to think like the RDs think. You guys, let me tell you something. If I asked any of the RDs that I just mentioned if they've arrived, Julian, have you arrived in ACN? Rox? Luann? No. Natasha, I can't see everybody on the same screen. No. In fact, they would tell you they probably haven't even started yet. Greg Provenzano said something really great at one of the nationals years and years and years ago. A bunch of us were backstage with him. And here's what he said. Al, permission? Okay. So here's what he said. He goes, look. Oh, this is so great. He goes, look, he's talking to some RVPs and some newly promoted RVPs. And he goes, you guys hit RVP. You hit RVP. Congratulations. And I mean it sincerely. It is a phenomenal accomplishment. But I want you to understand what happens and what you get for going RVP. Do I have your attention now, you guys? Here's what he said. He goes, you have earned the right. I'll never forget this word for word. He goes, here's what you get for going RVP. You have earned the right to pay you every way our compensation plan can pay you. You have unlocked the comp plan. By becoming a regional vice president, you have earned the right to get paid every single way our company can pay you. And when I heard that, and by the way, you guys, I was already RVP. I heard that and I was like this. I was like the emoji guy with the half of his head coming off. I was like, Like I was blown away. So the question is, you ETLs, when you go RD, you understand you get a big pay raise, a big pay raise. And RDs, when you go RVP, you get a big pay raise. Here's my question. Do you still have to show up? When you hit these positions, do you want to hit these positions in park, or do you want to have your business accelerating as you're hitting these positions? Accelerating. Mr. Thomas is the first one to answer because he freaking gets it. You want to hit these positions with acceleration. You want to hit these positions. So as an ETL, by the way, if you know the comp plan and you're an ETL and you're building 3 teams and there's tons of momentum going on in 3 teams, guess what? You're probably making no money. You're probably making no money. Why? Because you have executive team leaders in those 3 teams that are getting paid. And that's what you want. You want your team paid. Well, guess what happens when you turn from ETL to RD? That whole thing opens up for you. And your first month as a regional director, you do 30 or 40 reps and you're making $4 or $5 grand. Give me a break. See, Mr. Thomas, I don't know about these Thursday calls, man. I get all fired up and it's not even like 9:30 and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, I mean, I do know because I love it. So it's all good. I'm just playing with you guys. So how do we get to this acceleration point? We know we have to have activity because you cannot create acceleration out of something that's immobile. So you have to have activity in those areas, customers, presentations, launches, trainings. Of all of them, what's the most important? Phase 1, personally peaking, personally recruiting. There's nothing more important than phase 1 because everything else comes out of it. And for those of you who are a little more advanced, so don't sweat it if you don't get this. For those of you, certainly for the RDs, because I do want to make sure that we get trained up on, we do stuff for the RDs on the call as well. And for those of you who are future RDs, here's what I want to tell you. In creating a momentum and acceleration, when you find a leg, when you find someone who is open to doing this business and doing what you're setting out to do, it is your job to find a rep for 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 a rep. And you taproot and build that organization deep just as fast as you can with the leader who's committed to working with you. Why? Because every single person between you and the last person who signs up, you're getting them all paid. Now, do they have to meet you halfway? Yeah, they got to do some stuff, but your obligation is to build them an organization, and you will have fulfilled your obligation at the exact same time you created activity, which led to momentum, which is where we all want to be. So that's all I'm going to say on that. That was a lot for the regional directors. Okay. If you didn't get that, or you just like not focused on it, then that's on you. That's not on me. Okay, cool. So here goes. Baker's laughing. Okay, cool. When you have movement, when you're not in park anymore, because you're doing these few basic things that, and by the way, you guys, hang on a minute. Let me just get this out. All right. We don't have to do that much in ACN. We don't have to do that much in ACN. We have to do a lot of a few things, right? We have to do a lot of a few things. What's the magic to doing a lot of a few things? Being consistent. Doing things when you don't want to do them. Talking to someone when maybe you just want to get home. Oh, you know what? Dean said I should stop at a coffee shop or a bar. Don't go out and drink and drive. Grab a soda, watch a little bit of a ball game. Why not pique someone's interest? Why not? What is the worst thing that could happen? A $5 soda sitting watching an inning of a ball game and maybe there's nobody there and the bartender's kind of a rotten apple. Okay, well, you're not going back to that place. But what if you engage that person? And what if you talk to them for a second? And while you're having your club soda and you're kind of watching the ball game and you engage that person. And as you're leaving, say, hey, look, you're really cool. I'm expanding a company out here. Would you ever be open to a business conversation that didn't have anything to do with drinks? Yeah, I would. Well, great. You know what? I'll pop back in one of these days. You're really cool. Thanks. That person's going to be praying that you come back. Get me out of here. unless their name is over, you guys, let me be very clear with you. Unless somebody's name is over the door of the restaurant, there is a very reasonable chance that they're open to something else. Doesn't mean that the restaurant business isn't great. I was in the bar business for years, but there's not a lot of people whose dreams and goals when they were younger was to be a waiter or a waitress or a bartender. Now, some are, and I respect those who are, but I think the reality, if we're going to talk reality here, there's a world of people out there that would be open if they're approached properly. Why am I talking to you guys about this? These are all little seeds of things that you can do to create what? Movement, which will lead to what? Acceleration in your business. Now I'm going to really trip you out. What if you did that 3 times in a day? Oh my God. Oh my God. Alert the press. Alert the press. Alert the freaking press. Wait, you stopped and you actually peaked 3 people in a day? Oh, by the way, we're in Hollywood, right? The drama. Watch this. Here goes, you guys. You peaked 3 people in a day. Oh my God. I can't breathe. I'm so exhausted. Oh my God. Give me a break. Give me a freaking break, man. I can't believe how hard I did so much ACN today. Really? You stopped at 3 places and you talked to someone. How come somehow in the world of ACN, us doing ACN, doing very little tiny things in ACN feels like a ton of work, but we'll work our tails off at our job to get a paycheck that someone pays us by the hour. Give me a break. You guys, come on. Right? Okay. Mr. Thomas, this is all your fault. This is all your fault. This whole call. It's all your fault. So to create acceleration, you need to magnify your effort. You need to, look, I don't need to. Al doesn't need to. You need to. And whether you magnify your effort or not, you guys, I apologize in advance if this sounds harsh. And it's like, wow, that's not really the Dean we've come to know. Look, if you magnify your effort or not, I don't care. You're going to live your life the way you do it. But I do know this. Let me be crystal clear with everyone. Okay. So give me your attention. Here goes. Whether you magnify your effort and do this or not, I don't care. And neither does Al. And he ain't going to tell you. He cares about you as a person, but as a business person, let me tell you something. Here's what Al Thomas is a genius at. Ready? Finding people who want to do this. The genius at it. He'll share it with everyone, but I'll tell you this, he will identify someone who wants to do this. Will he help everyone that wants help? Absolutely, to the degree. Look, that's why he does these calls. But he's not going to wait. That would be, by the way, you guys, if Al, first of all, let me just tell you, Al Thomas would not be a senior vice president if he waited on everybody that he needed to wait on. He went and found the next person. And then those people who were waiting, they see what he's doing. They come back to him and now they're running. I hope that makes sense to everyone. Understand that's the kind of leader that people pay to follow. That's the kind of leader that people pay to follow, because now he's not lead. By the way, you guys, he's not waiting to see what everybody does. He's leading by the front and being an example for people. You guys get to do the exact same thing. You guys get to do the exact same thing. So there's no lack of love from the leadership here. Let me just tell you that. But you guys, the 3 most important words, man, lead by example, lead by example, lead by example. So to create acceleration, you have to magnify your effort. Maybe that means making a few more stops. Maybe that means having 20 seconds of courage to go talk to someone for a minute. Who cares if they say no? You have no obligation or tie to that person. Who gives a rip? And if your broke friend says, no, I'm not interested in anything like that, congratulations, you just found a gold mine, because your broke friend didn't see it. Well, hang on a minute. So I have a gentleman who owned banks and has planes doing ACN, and my broke friend who I've been buying lunch for the last month said, don't do it. I'm 100% doing this. So what does it take to magnify your effort? And I'm going to wrap up. We're not going to go as long as we did last time. I promise. What does it take to magnify your effort? Here goes. You write this down. a little more time, and a little more attention. That's it. What does it take to magnify your efforts? A little more time and a little more attention. What does that lead to? It leads to a little more activity daily. A little more time and a little more attention leads to a little more activity daily. This creates acceleration, and acceleration allows you to play in the game of the law of large numbers. And the law of large numbers will never, nobody can finish that sentence. The law of large numbers will never fail you. The law of large numbers will never fail you. And you guys want to really kick ass? When you have more than one team that understands what we just went over today, you're on your way to regional director. And if you're a regional director, you're on your way to regional vice president. I can't speak for the other RDs, but I can tell you this: Roxanne Corlejo created activity, which led to momentum, which put her on the charts for the last 90 days. Part of her activity led to where Ryan Ruiz is right now, regional director, number 5 in the company on this call. Activity led to activity led to acceleration, which gives us the best shot at momentum. And when that happens in more than one leg, I'm telling you guys, you will really start to experience ACN. So, Mr. Thomas, that is, make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope. Al Thomas 812 training. That is what I got. So your acceleration really just requires a little more increased energy on your part. Get your car out of park, you guys. What does it take to shift your car into gear and hit the gas? Why are you doing this? And I want you guys to do yourselves proud. You got a company and leadership that believes in you. I do. By the way, if I didn't, I wouldn't be on these calls. I mean, other than my reverence for Mr. Thomas, not really. But look, I honestly believe, you guys, we are going to have multiple. And when I say we, I mean us as a team. I mean us as a Thursday morning, every other month, Al Thomas team. I believe that we are going to birth multiple regional directors out of this call for the people who are willing to take the information and apply it. Information received is one thing, but if that information is not applied, it's like junk mail. You'd be the greatest, most knowledgeable ACN rep in the world, but if you're a secret agent, I got news for you. Your business ain't going anywhere. People need to know about it. So that's what I got, Mr. Thomas. I hope that was helpful. And I will turn this back over to you, my friend.